carried out a massive crackdown on child marriages in the state. Over 2,200 arrests have been made so far, and over 4,000 cases have been registered across the state till Sunday. More than 100 such weddings have either been postponed or cancelled in the Barak Valley district of southern Assam. Now, the charge being levelled is that this is a targeted attack again on the minorities in Assam. However, that is far from the truth, because now the government has given a breakup of the kind of cases that have been lodged, and that is religion agnostic.
Actually, my data reveal that Muslims are 58%, 42% are Hindu. So this is a secular action, and OSC is not actually accustomed with the activity that government of Assam is doing. We are not against Muslim, we are not against Hindu, we are against the child marriage. But certain section, particularly in Lower Assam, certain a minuscule person belonging to Muslim community, they have created a ruckus in front of police station. Right. So that visual went out nationally, giving an impression that it is only targeted against the Muslim.
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 2 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Tushar Gupta continues with us. We are joined by Kangana Goswami, spokesperson of the BJP in Assam, Karim Uddin Barbuhiya, General Secretary and spokesperson of AIUDF, Aadil Hasan, AIMIM Youth President, and Tehseen Poonawalla, political analyst. I want to start with you, Mr. Aadil Hasan. I am genuinely curious कि जो लोग क्रिटिक कर रहे हैं, उनका आर्गुमेंट क्या है कि 9 साल की बच्ची की शादी हो जानी चाहिए इन द नेम ऑफ फ्रीडम एंड सिविल लिबर्टीज?
मैम, ऐसा कोई क्रिटिक नहीं कर रहा है। सच्चाई से सब लोग अवगत है और चाहता है कि चाइल्ड मैरिज रुके, लेकिन एक तरफा कार्रवाई नहीं होना चाहिए। मैं एक जज का मैं जस्टिस अर्नेश कुमार हैं वर्सेस स्टेट ऑफ बिहार में, उन्होंने कहा कि 7 साल से जो ज्यादा की सजा होती है उसमें सीआरपीसी 141 के तहत नोटिस दी जाती है। ये तो सजा 2 ही साल की है, और अभी जो चाइल्ड मैरिज के तहत आसाम सरकार 2006 के बाद पूरा रूल भी नहीं बनाई है। आपको मैं देश का आंकड़ा बतला देता हूं कि पहले 2005-6 में 47.4% चाइल्ड मैरिज था, उसका घट के 26.8%।
आप मेरे को ये बताइए सर कि आपकी ऑब्जेक्शन क्या है? आप भी चाहते हैं कि चाइल्ड मैरिज बंद होनी चाहिए, तो यहां पे पॉक्सो लगा के चाइल्ड मैरिज बंद हो रही है, तो आपका ऑब्जेक्शन क्या है?
मेरा ऑब्जेक्शन यह है कि सरकार रातों रात कोई सिस्टम को नहीं बदल सकती है। हेमंता बिस्वा साहब बतलाएं कि कितना अवेयरनेस कैंपेन किया, किसने।
तो रातों रात नहीं आप कह रहे हैं कि मतलब अगर 50 बच्चों की शादी हो रही है, अभी 10 को बचाओ, 40 को वहां पर मरने दो, 40 को 40 साल बाद बचाना।
एक दिन में सती सिस्टम नहीं खत्म हुआ, एक दिन में सती सिस्टम नहीं हुआ आसाम में।
एक्चुअली सर एक दिन में ही हुआ, आपके ऐसा किसी ने नहीं कहा कि अभी 4 लोगों को सती होने दो, अभी 1 को बचाओ। सती सिस्टम एक ही वक्त पे खत्म हुआ था।
5 दिन पहले हेमंता बिस्वा उठते हैं, 5 दिन पहले उठते हैं, और वो हेमंता बिस्वा कानून का जो डंडा चलाना चाहते हैं 5 दिन के अंदर में। बतलाएं हेमंता बिस्वा।
कंगना गोस्वामी, आपको अवेयरनेस क्रिएट करनी चाहिए। ये डिक्टेटोरियल स्टेट है, पुलिस स्टेट बना दिया है आपने।
See, to begin with, if you look at the entire trajectory and evolution of laws, पहले तो मैं सतीश जी को ये बता दूं कि हिमंत विश्व शर्मा जी है तो मुमकिन है, मोदी जी है तो मुमकिन है। एक दिन में सिस्टम को बदलना, सिस्टम को तोड़ना, एक गलत सिस्टम को तोड़ना बहुत ज्यादा मुमकिन है, क्योंकि मोदी जी है, क्योंकि हिमंत विश्व शर्मा जी है। Then to begin with, if you look at the entire trajectory of laws, entire trajectory of legislative configurations and judicial activism and activism on the part of organizations like the NCPCR, and then also a suo motu cognizance on the part of judiciary court rulings and all of that, everything boils down to one particular centripetal purpose, and that is the menace of child marriage has to be eradicated completely from the society. Now the most pertinent question is whether these personal laws are violative of child rights, whether personal laws are violative of the constitutional rights, of the basic structure of the constitution, of the right to life and personal liberty, or the right to, right to choice, right to health, right to hygiene, and, all of those fundamental rights given by the Constitution of India? And the answer is yes, they are. Now, the Constitution of India, the apex court of the country, right from the Keshavananda Bharati case to the, the landmark judgment of triple talaq, Sairo Banu versus Union of India. In all of these cases, the apex court of the country has specifically made clear connotations to the fact that in case there is a conflict between the customary rights and the constitutional rights, or between the personal rights and the personal laws and the constitutional laws, the constitutional laws, or for that matter, the Constitution will prevail. And therefore, there should not be an iota of doubt when it comes to having a rigid and decisive political will. Or
it's a rigid and decisive political will, and it's ultimately about rights. Tehseen Poonawalla.
Padmaja, there is just one issue. First of all, no sane person can object to child marriages being stopped, whether it is done in one day or it's done within 1 day. The point is, it's a good thing that the Honorable Chief Minister of Assam is doing. To that extent, I compliment him. That he's put out the data to Times now that action is secular. It's been taken against everybody. That's good, because we know from the official government data that 31% of child marriages are Hindus, 30% is Muslims. And from the India Spend data, what we know is below 10 years, about 84% is Hindus and about 11% is Muslims. That's the India Spend data that we know about. So that's the secular action. The only question that I have for the Honorable Chief Minister is this, that when you go retrospectively into this action, which is action that is more than a year and a half, 2 years ago, where marriage is taking place, and now this couple is living together, and you suddenly put the man in jail, that may become problematic. I know the Chief Minister said we look after the woman financially, but retrospective action, at what number does it stop? 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 30 years? We know political leaders who've got married as child marriages. So the point is that when does retrospective action stop? So my only appeal to the Honorable Chief Minister is immediately stop all marriages. Maybe you have a cut-off date, say 6 months prior or a year prior, but have a concrete cut-off.
Okay, retrospective action is actually making the women into victims. For example, the case studies which are being quoted in the papers, Tushar Gupta, is where women who were married at the age of 11, 12, 14 are now saying we have babies who are 4 years old, we have no money, we have no sustenance.
Well, I agree with Tehseen. The state government can promise taking care of all these children, and they must. But at the end, you cannot have a retrospective implementation of the law. It becomes problematic for many reasons. But Padma, if you look at it, we are back to the triple talaq debate. We are back to the hijab debate, where it was not about a progressive policy. It was not about the interest of the children and the women and their contribution to the socio-economic culture as a whole. It was about the politics. Today, when the Chief Minister comes out and says child marriages are incorrect, we need to have a strict action against them, someone is making them about action against minority. Tell me, how is it fair? Tehseen just gave us the percentages that it's not just about Muslims, it's about Hindus as well. Then how does it become anti-minority? One of the panelists said that you cannot do it in a day. I say, why not? What is the debate that you need to have to justify child marriages?
No,
how are you going to
illegal.
convince a committee to sit down
illegal
and justify child marriages before a Chief Minister?
Because the law already exists. No, it's not like you have to bring in legislation. Karim Uddin Barbuhiya.
Except
to say कि हम एक दिन में नहीं कर सकते, भाई जो चीज illegal है वो एक ही दिन में रोकी जाएगी ना?
बट इलीगल वे से क्यों कर रहा है चीफ मिनिस्टर साहब? चाइल्ड मैरिज कोई हम लोग सपोर्ट नहीं कर रहे, हर कोई भी चाइल्ड मैरिज का खिलाफ है, बट चीफ मिनिस्टर साहब ने जिस वे से कर रहा है, किसी को भी एक सिंगल नोटिस नहीं भेजा, किसी को भी पुलिस से एज पर लॉ पहले नोटिस भेजना चाहिए, उसका बाद किसी को अरेस्ट करना चाहिए. लेकिन चीफ मिनिस्टर साहब ने
तो आपको नोटिस भेजा जाता है. आई मे बी कंप्लीटली ऑफ द मार्क, बट अगर आप
टीवी में लॉ चेंज नहीं कर सकते.
सर लॉ चेंज नहीं, लॉ तो ऑलरेडी है.
देखिए दो चीज किया, एक विदाउट प्रायर नोटिस रात 2 बजे जाके उठा के सीधा पुलिस अरेस्ट कर लिया. 24 आवर्स से 48 आवर्स ऐसा डिटेन करके पुलिस स्टेशन में रखा है.
कंगना गोस्वामी, आर यू रिक्वायर्ड टू गिव अ नोटिस? नोटिस नहीं दिया गया. कंगना गोस्वामी,
प्लीज अलाउ मी टू बाज यू ऑन दिस.
सुनिए, दुबड़ी बोरपेटा,
देयर इज अ लीगल मैगजीन, बरबुया जी, देयर इज अ लीगल मैगजीन,
वही पे टारगेट कर रहा है. ये प्योरली देखिए,
Ignorantia juris non excused. Ignorance of law is not an excuse, Barbuhiya ji. There is a specific legal maxim, ignorantia juris not excused. Ignorance of law is not an excuse. You cannot use awareness, or for that matter non-awareness, as a weapon or as an excuse for, committing a heinous crime and flouting sensitive legal norms. For flouting sensitive, legal norms. And as a matter of fact, if you're not scared enough of the law, there has to be a stringent political will to make the law scary enough for you. And that exactly and precisely is what Dr. Himanta Biswa Sarma is doing.
Karim Uddin ji.
Ignorance of law is not an excuse, Barbuhiya ji.
सेंसिटिव इशू में
This is the blunder that you're making on national television.
स्ट्रेट पॉलिटिक्स कर रहा है, कुछ नहीं कर रहा है.
If you have committed a murder, the police will not come to you with a summon notice.
Karim Uddin ji, and I don't understand it. What is the differentiation? तो आप कह रहे हैं कि sensitive matter में law को apply नहीं करना चाहिए, बाकी matters में, and what makes it sensitive?
असम से मेरा क्वेश्चन है, 2 साल आप कहाँ थे?
2 साल आप कहाँ थी, कंगना?
चीफ मिनिस्टर साहब कहाँ था?
2 साल आप कहाँ थे?
2 years हो गया इनका. हाँ, 2 साल में चीफ मिनिस्टर साहब सो रहा था क्या?
कंगना गोस्वामी 2 साल कहाँ थे?
Completely relied on facts. The facts are out. The facts are out now, Karim Uddin Barbuhiya ji. The Chief Minister has completely relied on facts on the part of the National Health and Family Survey, which says that there is a rise in the number of cases of child marriages in Assam, which is why there is a rise in the number of female maternal mortality rate and child mortality rate.
And Mohammad Ali Hasan, तुषार गुप्ता का जवाब दीजिए that अगर आपको प्रॉब्लम है कि भाई रेट्रोस्पेक्टिवली ना हो, आप थोड़ा और टाइम दे दीजिए या फिर आप रिहैबिलिटेट कीजिए, दैट्स वन थिंग. बट टू से कि भाई ये तो अबाउट कम्युनल पॉलिटिक्स है, ये कम्युनिटी को टारगेट किया जा रहा है, ये तो आप कम्युनिटी के साथ डिससर्विस कर रहे हैं ना.
नहीं, ये तो सच्चाई है. ये सच्चाई है जो अभी एक लड़की ने सुसाइड कर लिया है. आप रातों रात किसी को जेल भेज दीजिएगा? इस देश में डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस एक्ट नहीं है.
की लड़की की बात कर रहे हैं आप, उस लड़की की बात नहीं कर रहे जिसका आज पेपर में एग्जाम्पल था. वो 9 साल की बच्ची है, 11 साल में शी बिकेम प्रेग्नेंट सर.
एज ए चीफ मिनिस्टर उन्होंने अपील किया.
A 9-year-old girl got married and at 11 she had a child.
अपील भी किया आसाम के लोगों को.
आपको नहीं लगता that 11-year-old girl deserves justice?
He ever appealed to the people of Assam ever?
Has he ever appealed to the people? Should that have been better?
It's not only
Tushar
about
Gupta.
Assam, it's all about
to be
the
fair,
country.
sir, it's not, I really think it's not like कि कोई भी असम में बैठा था ये सोच के कि शायद ये लीगल होगा. CM के अपील करने से क्या ही फर्क पड़ जाता? They know they are breaking the law. They are still doing it. So it's not as if they are waiting for Himanta Biswa Sarma to tell them, please mat karo. Tushar Gupta.
Check the Jharkhand diary.
No, hold on. Forget Himanta Biswa Sarma. Forget Himanta Biswa Sarma. Since 7 decades after independence, and I'm just talking post-independent India, communities at the most local level to ministers at the national level, everyone has been advocating against child marriage. And today this gentleman here says the CM should have raised awareness against child marriages. What sort of shallow point is this? 70 साल हो गए, हर कोई कह रहा है चाइल्ड मैरिज गलत है, ये बच्चों के लिए गलत है, विमेन हेल्थ के लिए गलत है, उनकी एजुकेशन के लिए गलत है, उनके फ्यूचर के लिए गलत है. 70 साल से, और आज आप कह रहे अरे चीफ मिनिस्टर को एक बार तो कह के देखना चाहिए था, शायद कोई प्रॉब्लम ना होती. ये अवेयरनेस ना होने का एक एक्सक्यूज है, पर जो इलीगल है वो है, इसके पीछे आप छुप नहीं सकते.
And the laws already exist. If the implementation is happening now, to suggest that the timing is suspect, it just shows where your priorities lie. Is it about the interests of the children who will be helped, or is it about protecting the interests of those who are exploiting these children to begin with? I'll leave it at that. Thanks very much all gentlemen and Kangana ji for joining me.